All right, so we take it from now rhythm throws and what happens when you get pushed out of your rhythm and you have to step up. We go to what happens when you really have to totally escape the pocket here now. So it's a little drill. We just call it bail. We'll go right. We'll go left. I just give them some commands. I kind of add a little bit in here just to work them a little bit. I don't know if that's much of a conditioning, but I think sometimes you just want to get them working, stepping up. Sometimes that way they don't know exactly what the drill is. And then we'll send them, either to their right or to the left or whatever it may be, just with a hand signal. With the quarterbacks, they can either dip under, which is what they do most of the time, or we will let them spin out depending on the pressure that they're getting. Holton's a lefty, so we work him a lot more, probably 2 to 1 on going to his right because it's just harder. And they got to get that body turned. And what we really, really work on, what we really, really talk to them about is though, once you bail here, is to try to run toward the target that you're going to throw to. And as opposed to running east and west and throwing across, against your body, which you kind of see when one guy there, he kind of fights, he kind of locks his hip out a little bit, and that makes the throw kind of sink on him a little bit right there. This happens so much in there. We weren't very good at it at the beginning of the year. We got better at it. Then one part that we've already implemented in the all season here is we've added just one more distraction to this because this is what happens so much. Now, we don't hit him, okay, but he forces him then to run and throw the ball with a guy that's secondary contain or second pressure. So that's just been in our all season since then, because as we reviewed the tape and we looked and, we knew we were getting pushed out of the pocket some, okay, right here, questionable about maybe at what point did he leave. This was 4 verticals. We'll talk about that in the last session today. Maybe he should have waited and hit the back coming out. But again, that's for later in the day. Either way, he bails, and then you do see the pressure coming. And the other thing we'll talk about is our scramble rules, which is a big part of what we practice and how we get people open. That's a great job by our receiver who was running a takeoff route, then working his way back on his scramble rules. So, like I say, probably had the back coming out right here. Again, we'll talk about that later. A lot of times we have the backs in some chipping mode, as you can see number 6 right there, attempting to get this twist slowed down by bumping into that guy. So sometimes we're ready to give the back up a little bit. But then, like I say, here's the part that we added is just, and we weren't as ferocious probably, with the other quarterbacks, but it still kind of simulates the idea. And you see Holton doing a great job here of getting some depth, but then running to the target so that he's not fighting across his body. Now, the big coaching point that I would probably have for him is look at the ball security. Very poor right here with the ball in one hand. I'd like to see the ball in 2. We've all seen the quarterback run and have it out here and then hit his knee, okay, and cause the fumble situation here. But I think when you can show the players the drill work happening in the games, then they take the drills more serious. They do a lot of these drills on their own sometimes in the summer, but they know this is going to happen from time to time. And, here, just another great example of him running to his right, which he really struggled with early in the year last year. But as the year went on, we were able to show him, wow, did you get better? And now they take it a little more serious, not only when we're out there with them, but they do these drills together. They do a lot of these drills in the summer to improve on. So give you one more example right here. He gets bailed. Here he is kind of running east-west. This is another part of it. And sometimes, you know, you can't run and attack. You got to do this. You've got to just avoid and make these throws. This is a great example of the scramble drill, getting a guy coming open right there. Okay, I think you kind of get the idea from there. Then we do have what happens if you have to bail, and then let's say you get some kind of a second contain, and it forces you to have to pull up. We also have some bootleg type things that we actually look to do that and then look to throw the ball maybe back to the backside. So I do work them out here. And what the big coaching point is, you're first trying to break contain, then you want to stop. You want to put your foot in the ground and be able to stop that momentum so that you don't just keep running wide, and then you're able to get your body back in position to make that throw. So they have one example here. This actually was off of a bootleg where we call it a slam, where we bring the guy back in from a flex position to try to break that control or that contain. But what you see is Cincinnati doing a really, really nice job here of second containing this. So then the quarterback's got to pull up. His first read, you know, is actually out here. And then that second read is a guy running a pylon route across, and then we got a deep post backside right here. So he gets a pretty quick job with his eyes there as he read the coverage. A little bit of that's pre-snap, but he's simulating the drill here of now pulling up and then looking back to 2 receiver, now to 3 receiver, and that's our bail and pull up drill here. You get it from a better view from the end zone. Stop. Don't let your momentum carry, because then you won't make a good throw. Receiver does a great job there of attacking the ball. That safety actually did a very good job there. It was very confusing what he was trying to do. So, and I'm going kind of quick here, but with the sake of time. So then we start to talk to them as receivers and tight ends and running backs about, okay, what's called a scramble drill, since we're working so hard on our quarterbacks, breaking contain and keeping their eyes downfield and keeping plays alive. So I'll just give you a little example. Here's a little quick game that we'll talk about later where we've got, you know, routes, okay? We got a takeoff right here. We got a quick out. We got a little stick route, backside slant, back in the flat. And then we take just a pass like that, and then we come up with some basic rules for our scramble drill. And so whoever's the deepest guy to the side the quarterback goes is got the deep third area. Now, that doesn't mean you just go deep all the time. You work that whole deep area. Because he's run a flat route, then his job is to stay somewhere in that 5 to 0 area in the flat. He becomes what we call the intermediate, so they get some spacing. Backside, they always had. It's not grown great. Really, we'd like for him to go more probably for the goalpost at the beginning and then break that off. And then if you're the backside flat, then you just try to mirror the quarterback. And so how we teach that is we get into a drill and we get multiple reps here. So we get a lot of quarterbacks, okay, throwing right here. I like to have 5 throwing at a time, and they'll take their drop. We'll have called a route. You can see this is the route that we had drawn up there, what we call stick, and then we'll make a call to go to the right. And again, they're all kind of going together. It's not a full speed drill. This is more of a teaching pace type drill. You can do it full speed. We get more of the full speed practice when we go 7-on-7 against our defense, and then everybody's covered one time. We'll get coached to not blow the whistle dead, or sometimes even in 7-on-7, if we feel like we need to work it that day, we'll just have a play, and I'll tell the quarterback, you're going to scramble to the right on this